Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Toonkind D&D. It's me, Artist of Obsessions, also known as Abby, and today I'm running a game called The Iron Phantom. And with me, I have three wonderful and lovely players. If y'all could introduce yourselves from top to bottom, that would be fantastic.
Hello, everyone. I am CartoonKitsune, also known as Kit, and today I will be playing a new character. He's a realkind lad by the name of Norman Plume. He's just just a regular little guy, just kind of going along. He's a bit new to Inkwell, so that'll be interesting.
Oh shit, it's my turn. Hi, it's me. Uh the wonderful, the lovely MegaMarine / Jade. How's it going? I am back. I am playing a funny wizard named Phineas Hawthorne, who has appeared in an Obby game before. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Uni. I apologize in advance if I'm muffled. Something's wrong with my mic and I don't know what. But that aside, I'm playing a guy who almost exclusively shows up in obby games for some reason. This is our good friend Beckett, detective extraordinaire. Very cool, very cool. Not at all try hard edge lord.
I love Beckett so much. I'm glad that I hold the streak for longest DM for Beckett. All right, and with that, let's get started a little bit in media res, as they say. It's been a few days since the three of you have been hired onto this job. The rumors of disappearing ships within the Unkani Triangle isn't quite unheard of, but the reappearance of one is a lot more unusual. Supposedly, a realkind cargo ship that disappeared under mysterious circumstances has been seen on the distant horizon near the shores of Gisnep, specifically near the ports of the humble town of Pottingspan. Supposedly, it's within an ever-present fog, and all toons worth their salt know that an eternal spooky fog is nothing but trouble. An interested party has hired the three of you to take the figurative plunge into discovering if these rumors are nothing but tall tales, or if there's something far more concerning on these waters. As of right now, you've been on the boat of a Mr. Cedric Honeyboo for about 3 days. How are each of your characters faring?
I think you mentioned something about maybe rolling a con save.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm down to roll that.
Let me see how Phineas is doing. Hold on. Gotta take out my dice. The one thing I forgot to grab.
Could be worse, but could be better.
Okay, Norman got a 14.
14. That's good, that's good. That's pretty decent.
It's a 14.
That's a 9.
9. 14, 9, 14. Okay. Let's do this top to bottom again. So, Norman, with your 14. It's, you're doing pretty okay. I mean, you've probably been on a boat relatively recently since you yourself are new to Inkwell, and typically the only way to travel to Inkwell is by boat. Mm-hmm. So since you've traveled here pretty recently, this is kind of more of the same. A lot of waves, a lot of slightly choppy waters on occasion, but it's mostly been smooth sailing.
Yeah, he's got his sea legs by now.
Phineas, kind of the same thing for you. You are doing pretty okay on your travels on this here boat.
He's used to being on boats.
Beckett, however, I don't think you're used to boats.
No, not my usual stomping ground. Trying so hard to look cool and relaxed and not green.
Trying desperately to fight off the gag. No green face. No green face. You need to look cool.
First impressions are really important, okay? Doesn't want to be the gag character of this bit.
But yes, I'm gonna say this is kind of in the third day of just kind of sailing around near this fog, just hoping to run into this ship that supposedly you guys have been sent to look out for. So far, there's been a whole lot of nothing.
I will say, I know Norman's been spending probably a lot of this trip just scribbling in like this journal he keeps with him.
Mm-hmm.
Phineas has definitely spent part of the time doodling the occasional, like, one of the other passengers, either the captain or the other party members, and probably spending a lot more time actually doing sea shanties on the boat with his loot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Beckett, probably when he's not, got his hat tipped down, very cool, not barfing. He is taking notes. He might be asking the captain questions about the area. Yeah, in good moments. Sometimes he just has a good sit.
A good sit. Speaking of which, speaking of the captain, I have art of your captain.
Oh, good.
Oh boy!
I'm Captain, my captain. Here is your captain. This is the Mr. Cedric Honeyboo.
Oh, I love him.
Oh,
I want to give him a hug.
he looks extremely huggable.
He is not one for hugs, unfortunately.
I know.
Yeah.
Big gruff bear.
Big
Salty
bear.
old sea bear.
I want to have a beer with him.
Yeah.
A beer with a bear.
Yeah.
A beer with a bear.
Yeah.
After job, not during.
And
But yeah.
respect the man who puts the boundaries on his job.
Mm-hmm.
Question.
Any interactions with Cedric has just been very short, very blunt. He's not one for chatter. He's very direct with his speaking. And
How long has he been sailing this area? Like, has he seen the ship before they were hired on?
let me see. Let me roll a history check for him real quick, just to establish it. At 11. Been sailing on waters for 12 years. See this big boat? I have not. Lot of tall tales round these parts. But gold is gold, and so we look.
Is that the truth?
Now, I have a question specifically about our payment. If we don't find the boat, I know we're going to add a character, but if we didn't find the boat, would we still be hired? Are we still hired and getting paid technically?
Technically, yeah. Essentially, this is basically a job where you're going out onto sea, you're sailing around the area and just making sure that this is A, actually a thing, and B, if the actual thing is dangerous, and if it is in some way, to make sure that there are people that anyone who's in danger, to put them in a safer position and then get the hell out of Dodge.
We're bodyguards.
Bodyguards, essentially, yeah.
Okay.
And so, are we in the fog now, or does the fog only happen when the boat shows up?
The fog has been happening kind of all day, I'd say, on this part of your journey. The first 2 days, there's been a lot more clear weather. It got a little bit rainy at one point, but otherwise was okay.
Okay.
The fog started settling in earlier, in the wee hours of the morning.
Okay. And before I do anything else, we did introduce ourselves, didn't we?
Yes. If you want to have those interactions now, feel free.
Do we want to say we arrive in the order of introduction?
Probably.
Okay. So Phineas shows up. What was your character's name, Kit? Sorry.
Norman.
Norman. Okay. Phineas shows up. You see there's real kind half elf with.
Actually, no, he's human.
Okay.
But no,
Phineas is half elf.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Phineas is.
I thought you were talking about Norman.
Norman's
My
human.
bad.
Okay, Pat, you.
Yeah.
You're all good.
You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you see this like scrungly half elf with a bit of a tan skin, scrungly red, like very puffy red hair and scrungly mustache and goatee, who walks onto the ship, and after I'm guessing he already introduced himself to the captain, just extends out a hand and says, "Phineas Hawthorne."
Let me roll something real quick. Okay. Yeah, this young man smiles at you, and he says, Norman Plume, pleasure to meet you, sir. And he'll take the handshake.
Perfect. And before the handshake leaves from his sleeve, pops out a little a toon ferret, who then shakes your finger and says, "And this is Scrunkly."
I think Norman would probably kind of look in surprise, like, oh, is this your pet?
Familiar, yes.
Well, pleasure to meet your pet as well. She kind of nods, very awkwardly. You get the sense that he was probably worried, like, this ferret was going to bite him or something.
Absolutely not. You see, left in your hand is a blueberry.
What?
I think he'll just say a very polite little thank you. Can I roll sleight of hand? Because, like, I think, like, when Phineas isn't looking, he'd probably just, like, toss the blueberry to the side.
Oh.
That's fair. Yeah, feel free.
Alright. Oh, sleight of hand actually isn't very good. Well, there's no modifier, so it's not...
Don't
18.
worry, his passive is 10.
Yeah, he just casually kind of tosses it off the side of the boat when Phineas isn't looking.
Oh no.
Yeah. he's not gonna eat that. He doesn't know where it's been. This, like, animal handed it to him.
Jade will remember this.
I'm going to make a roll before Beckett shows up. Okay. That is 21 stealth.
Nice!
And you guys just hear it as Beckett, so cool, steps out of the shadows. Looks like we got a full party here.
Indeed. And you are?
We call him Beckett. And he has like the proportions of real kind drow, but he's you could tell from the extremely intense shadows on him that he is in fact Toonkind.
Yeah.
He gives a tip of the hat.
Yeah. Norman will tip his hat and reply.
Phineas will also tip his hat, and then point to the both of you and say, "Where do you guys get your suits tailored? Or your coats tailored?"
The partner takes care of it.
That was it. I think that was the end of the joke.
Yep.
Oh, I love them. Very good, very good. And I think with that, let's cut back to more present time. And I want you guys to roll perception.
Alrighty.
I love
Right.
rolling.
It is
perception.
daytime,
It is.
isn't it?
Actually, there's fog.
True.
Is it a disadvantage?
Okay. That's
Yeah. Even though Beckett is not literally drow, I keep the disadvantage on perception and daylight for character reasons.
For character reasons, yes.
Yeah.
Are we ruling standard perception or disadvantage perception because of the
I'm
fog?
gonna say, yeah, actually, that's a good point. Disadvantage perception because of the fog.
Okay, let me roll again then.
And I also got.
Oh man. Well, I guess I'm keeping that 10.
Oh,
For those listening, the second roll was a nat 20, but since it's a disadvantage, Norman still gets a 10.
Alas.
and I'm gonna roll a disadvantage roll for Cedric. 9. Oh, buddy.
Oh, given the fog, it makes sense that, wouldn't be
Mhm.
too high, but 14's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Norman's probably
14?
distracted with his writing. He's trying to figure out a good way to describe the fog in his prose without sounding too trite.
There's only so many words you can use before it starts sounding like, and there was fog, and there was fog, and there
And it
was
was hard to
fog.
see because it was
There's
foggy.
so much fog.
Mhm.
But yes, with a 14, which is surprisingly the highest one here.
That's what happens when you give people disadvantage.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. It's not surprising then. Keeping a close ear out and your eye on the fog that is surrounding you on all sides. It's less that you hear it and more that you see it, Beckett. Suddenly in the fog, there is a big, dark shape. It's just like abrupt, like you're about to hit a wall. Like there's a huge shape that you guys are kind of pulling up on the side of that has kind of blocked out part of the sun that was not quite getting through the fog.
Yeah, Beckett calls out, "Whoa, there. We might have found something."
Brought to attention, Cedric, seeing the now slightly more obvious shape that is starting to shape itself within the fog. He starts to basically steer the ship so that you guys don't run into the pecking thing.
That's ideal.
Yeah. The last thing we need is to run into the broadside of a barn. Boat, for that matter. And as Cedric gets closer to this mysterious shape, you guys can see that it's just a huge metal wall of a sea vessel. Vast. A lot bigger than perhaps you were expecting.
They make boats that big?
It would appear so.
What was the thing? A
Is
barge?
not usual size for a boat.
Do we know, where it was supposed to be coming from and heading to?
Roll history, everybody,
Alrighty.
to see what details you were able to glean before you got onto this adventure.
That's a 17 from Norman.
I have a +7 and I got a 14.
Okay,
Only
12.
12.
I'm gonna say with the 12, Beckett, you were trying to do the stealthy thing and trying to listen in on the rumors in town, because that's the cool thing to do.
Obviously. Duh.
And unfortunately, the cool thing to do yields very biased answers of, did you hear about this weird spooky thing? Oh yeah, I heard about this weird spooky thing. Did you hear about this other weird spooky thing? It's just, yeah, it's a whole lot of weird boat appeared after disappearing. No real details on where it was going and why.
Very understandable.
I think a 14 kind of yields disappointingly similar results, even though I imagine Phineas would have been a bit more detailed with questioning the folks around town.
Saddest time.
Saddest timeline. With a 17, however, I think, Norman, you were able to find a few sources that were able to yield a little bit more information on on this ship.
Yeah, I think Norman probably would have like done the smart thing and like gone down to the shipyard and be like, "Hey, do you have like information on this boat's like what routes it took, that sort of thing."
Okay. Supposedly this big ship named the Iron Phantom was a cargo ship from the continent, one of the countries on the continent of Theater. And it was set to arrive in Einquell a few months ago, actually, but it never arrived.
Was there any mention if it was like a cargo ship, a passenger ship, like
Cargo ship. Definitely a cargo ship.
any info on what the cargo was?
That's a little bit more hard to glean.
Fair enough.
The best guess anyone's got is gag materials.
Very important.
Imagining Norman just like sighing to himself when he like hears this, like, of course it is. Of course that's what it is.
Listen, they need their whoopee cushions. They need their imported whoopee cushions.
Can't trust the domestic stuff.
Avi, I have a question.
Yes.
In the 3 days that we've been on this boat, did Phineas have ritual casted Find Familiar to change complete shape?
Yeah, sure. I'll allow it.
So, Scrunkly is now a seagull.
Aww.
Bird.
Herb.
The scrungliest seagull you ever did see.
Alright, so what's our plan here?
Well, I suppose first things first, we need to figure out a way on board.
Our job description is to find out what happened to it, right? Not to bring it back, because I don't think the three of us can.
This is a big ship. This would take like a 20-person crew at least, maybe even more, in order to maneuver this dang thing. 20 person is like a skeleton crew.
Yeah.
Running this thing.
Yeah. The best thing to do would probably be to go on, see if there's like any survivors on there, figure out what the hell happened, and then bring them back onto our boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's our main goal, is to figure out what happened to the crew or anyone else.
Got it. How far away are we from the boat?
I'm gonna say that Cedric, as you guys have been discussing with one another, has been in the process of getting you guys as close as he dares to this big old thing. I'd say you're about 20 feet away from like the actual wall of the ship.
Phineas will take out some rope and hand one end to Scrunkly as a seagull, and have Scrunkly the seagull fly over to the ship and find a place. Scrunkly can't fucking tie a knot. Shit.
No. Maybe get a grappling hook on that bad boy.
Yeah, I don't have a grappling hook.
Well, it's time for Beckett to reach into his hammer space in his coat.
Yeah!
Where's my honk? Okay, yeah. Pulls out a grappling hook.
Huzzah! The grappling hook has been found.
Here.
Okay. Do you mind, Beckett?
Didn't pull it out for fun. Hands it off.
Perfect. And Scrunkly flies over and hooks the grappling hook.
I'm gonna say Scrunkly finds pretty easily, even though the fog is thick. Like once Scrunkly crests over the side of the ship, he can easily find like a set of, I don't know, metal somethings to hook this thing against and allow there to be a solid way for you guys to climb up.
Yeah.
Speaking of climbing, you guys are gonna have to roll athletics to get up there.
Does it have to be athletic?
I've looked at the rules. Athletics is for climbing.
Okay, fine.
No, I wish I could argue acrobatics, believe me.
Okay, good. I rolled good at least.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, he got a 4.
I rolled 2.
Oh,
I mean, it makes sense. This kid's more of a bookworm than he is athletic. So
So is Phineas.
yeah, Beckett does some ninja shit that is up on top pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Beckett does like a cool flip and then scurries up to the top real fast. And then I imagine both Phineas and Norman reach for the rope at the same time and kind of knock heads and tumble into the water.
Oh no!
oh no!
Oh god!
Oh god, it
It's
is.
the only tune here, and you guys are the ones getting into the shenanigans.
Mhm.
Oh dear. Kid. God. I don't know what exactly Beckett can do. He's not a spells guy, aside from lower or rope.
I think help action could potentially be useful here, because Beckett can probably give tips as they're attempting to climb up on like where to grab and what to get a grip on.
Yeah.
We're wet now.
You're wet now.
You are.
Remake that athletics roll at advantage, you two.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
It's not any fucking better.
Oh no.
11.
Oh, nice, a 20.
I got an
11
11.
Well, at least
Better and-
Norman figured it out.
30-20, very good.
I mean, an 11 beats a 10, and that's all you needed.
Yeah.
What?
All right, with a 20, Norman, you were able to, once you get like a better grip on the rope and an awareness of like what to do, you were able to very, very resolutely climb up to the top. Phineas, it's a little bit more of a struggle for you, admittedly.
These adventures always have so much climbing.
Maybe you should get good, wizard boy.
You know, I think Norman's just up on the deck, like he's kind of like huddling under his like big brown coat even more, just like shivering a little.
Oh,
Wet. Yeah, you are now cold and wet.
yeah. It's not a good day to be damp. Can I just like while the guys were making their way up, Beckett does a cool little perception check situation on the deck.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna say you guys don't have disadvantage while your guys are on the deck for the fog stuff, because otherwise that's gonna get unfair fast.
Yeah. Okay, that's a 15. Oh wait, I didn't add. 15 plus 4, 19.
19. Oh, that's good.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah, taking a quick look at your surroundings with what you can see within the fog. Beckett, you can see that there is definitely this is definitely a cargo ship, because there are certainly crates and huge metal crates and wooden boxes that are just kind of stacked up each other and secured with rope and such on this upper part of the ship. You can also see kind of behind you towards the back end of the boat, there is another tall structure, though this one appears to be more of the sort of rooms or accommodations for the crew. With a 19.
Naturally, no sign of any living souls up and about, huh?
Not yet, not from what you can tell. Even
Yeah,
keeping out a
that-
close ear, all you can see is the seagull cries of Scrunkly.
Sure, yeah. It would be a little too easy to be like, oh, there the people are. Okay, problem solved.
Problem solved.
Shortest game ever.
We did it. We saved
We
the
did
ship.
No mysteries left. Like, I guess it just from, like, this has been gone for a couple of months, so I wouldn't expect too much damage, but, like, do the cargo and such, they look in decent condition?
In decent condition, yeah. If they were a little bit waterlogged. The ship is covered in, like moss, algae from just not being cleaned up in a while. It's very rusty.
Particles.
The particles.
I said barnacles, but yes.
Oh, barnacles too. Barnacle
Yeah.
particle.
The barnacle particle.
Yeah.
Particle.
Bit of a build-up of the aviary waste, I bet.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. It's kind of everywhere.
Nasty. Okay, well.
I guess you could say the ship isn't in ship shape.
Hey. Okay, well, once everyone's on top and Phineas has a minute to catch his breath,
Yeah.
Beckett is going to jab a thumb towards what looks like where the crew would have been. It seems like as good a starting point as any, don't you think?
I'd say so.
If you want to lead, I'll follow.
Beckett shrugs and he'll take the lead. Be safe. You never know what's going on a spooky ship that you're crawling up on. He's first gonna can I do like an investigation on any doors before going through them? Make sure.
Yes, that's a smart thing to do.
Checking for traps.
Yeah. Check for traps.
Check for traps. Check for those traps. I looked up the rules for checking traps recently. You can roll either perception or investigation.
Yeah, investigation's the better one for this boy.
Heck yeah.
So he got a 19.
Heck yeah, it is. 19. Okay. Walking up to the nearest ship, which appears to be metal in nature, yes, but it's not like one of those secure metal doors. It's more of just the basic opening and closing, maybe reinforced a little bit to brave sturdier weather. But it doesn't appear to be trapped in any way. There's no notable things that could cause harm on within a noticeable frame of reference. Yes.
And then, just for good measure, he first does a little David haircut on the door. Just because you never know, would be rude to not announce yourself before heading in. But he doesn't wait more than like a second before actually opening the door, assuming it's not locked.
Once you've knocked, Phineas just says from back, "Yeah, we wouldn't want to disturb the ghosts."
Correct.
Indeed.
Okay. Your knocks on the metal door kind of echo in the hallways behind it. And you open the door to reveal a kind of darker corridor. There are lights on this ship of the electrical variety, but they don't seem to be in the best functioning order. There's like one or two kind of flickering in the hallway, giving it a very spooky atmosphere.
Oh. Good.
Phineas
It's good
is
that they're
going-
consistent with their aesthetic.
Yeah. Phineas is going to take out a torch
Good call.
and light it.
Whoosh, you got a light source now of the flaming variety.
Well, hey.
Well, good thing the ship's made of metal.
You got that going for you at least.
Yeah.
All right, walking into this new territory, I would ask for you guys to make perception checks.
Once more.
Oh boy, Persepi.
Oof.
I would like to let the people in the recording know that for this specific adventure, I am using my dice with a skull in it.
Oh, good.
Ooh,
Nice.
Oh, well.
Fitting.
it's a 10 from Norman.
Yeah, Beckett used up his good rolls with those last couple.
Ooh.
Phineas also used them. Phineas doesn't have any good rolls today.
Oh, no.
Can't see shit, Captain.
All clear.
Can't see Jack Diddley. Because, like, as you guys are entering the area, kind of all three of you are kind of hit with the scent of rotting fish as you guys are entering into the area. And kind of, I think that scent for Phineas and Beckett in particular kind of throws you off your game. Because it's bad. It's real bad.
I think Norman's casting prestidigitation, because you can use it to create a scent. So he's just making a nice scent around his face, so he's not getting all these disgusting smells.
Just find a little pocket under the nose.
Yeah,
It's just fish. Oh, no, roses, lavender.
yeah. It's like apples and cinnamon instead of dead fish and bird poop.
But with a 10, I think Norman, looking into this kind of first hall, there's a staircase. Sorry, let me start over. There are a few doors on this bottom floor, which you can assume leads to quarters for the crew, like individual rooms and such. There's also a staircase that leads up to additional floors that you don't know what's up there because you guys are still on the bottom floor, but there's a way up. Alright.
Shall we check the crew's quarters first?
Go ahead first.
Should we check the quarters first before we head up further?
Smart idea. You know, I've been on plenty of ships, but this is the worst smelling one. Holy crap.
I haven't got a huge base to compare it to. I just because my knowledge of big ships, I would expect the stairs to go down rather than up.
Yeah, because we started on the deck, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Squint. Not that you could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, this is essentially a big structure on the back of the ship where the crew quarters are built upwards on top of the main deck. Because the cargo ship, the point of a cargo ship is that the majority of it is used for literal tons of cargo.
That is true. That is a thing.
Yep.
I'm guessing also going upstairs will probably lead to the the captain's quarters.
That's likely.
Most likely.
It's a good view of all the fog. Well, first things first. Checking the quarters.
Checking the quarters. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, just as a general looking through the quarters of this first floor, I want you guys to roll me a investigation check.
Alrighty.
Hey. 18 plus 4 is 22.
Ooh, 19.
18.
Dang, they're the good rolls.
22.
26.
Nice. 26. Ooh.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. All right. With high rolls like these, you guys start sweeping through this bottom floor very efficiently. You each open a door and you peek inside each quarters. You find a similar setup in each one. Kind of, each one has a little couch, a bed, sitting place. One had a pack of cards that was laid out for a game of solitaire that seems to have been abandoned. The cards spewed across the floor. A different room has a... I'm gonna say the room that... the room that Beckett walks into. You find sitting kind of like on the table, kind of slightly overturned, is a big blue boombox.
Okay.
It's not playing any music, obviously, but hey, it's there.
Yeah. Like it's gonna, I guess, go and check if anything is inside it. Like, you know, one of them fancy CDs that are all the rage these days.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure Norman probably hasn't seen anything like this before because the part of Aruma he's from is a bit more old-fashioned, so they don't have boomboxes.
Beckett, going up to the boombox, you can see that there is a tape inside. It's like one of those older ones that plays, like... Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like pressing play is inviting something to happen. So instead he's gonna eject it so he can look at the tape.
The tape, doesn't yield any interesting things other than song number 5 on its label.
It's just labeled song number 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Part of me that's just like, he pulls out a pencil and rewinds it back. No, he puts it back in the boombox to rewind it.
I have a question. So these cruise quarters, I'm guessing we can see the entrances to all of them, like, while still being able to see each other, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so can we, not to completely break the formation order, but can we each go to different cruise quarters, just checking them out?
Yeah, that's what I was assuming.
Okay, cool.
That you guys are doing with your roles. Yeah. Phineas, I'm gonna say with your search into a room, you find the origin of the rotting fish smell.
Ooh.
It is somebody's abandoned lunch left to rot. It's not great.
Oh. Phineas, have anything you can do to fucking get rid of the smell? Please tell me you have something you can do.
Does he have prestidigitation? I mean, it only lasts for like a few minutes at a time, but...
It's one of the only cantrips I don't have.
Oh god, you gotta have prestidigitation. It's so good.
I know, but I picked cantrips based on what he would have picked up, and I'm just like, oh, come on.
Extremely valid.
You would have seen Norman casting it earlier, so if you want to ask him.
Hey Norman, can you get here for a second?
Yes, but is oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, could you just, just cover up the smell?
Yes, of course. And yeah, he'll kind of keeping like a bit of a distance. Like he'll only get as close as he needs to cast the spell. So now the rotting fish smell is replaced by apples and cinnamon, so much more pleasant.
How much Seagull is in Scrungly now? How hungry is Scrungly?
A little hungry.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Seagull have no compunction about eating anything. I know that.
Yeah. Even this, despite how sad and moldy it is.
Brunckley's hunger meter is decreasing.
Yeah, Beckett will, once he has determined approximately Song 5's location in the tape, he'll just bite the bullet and goes, might have something here.
Cool. Delightful. I'm so glad. This is what you hear.
Of course it is.
Oh, good.
I knew it was gonna be this. Which song specifically? Hold on, I gotta listen to this.
Boombox
Yes,
Song 5.
You picked the best one. Let's go.
Oh. Well, I'm sure this will be a great asset.
I'm playing it right now. It's in the recording now.
Good.
Well,
I'm not going to lie. This is kind of like a really good song.
it is a funky beat. This I cannot deny.
So that's what this device is for.
Beckett,
Interesting.
like, my God, I know he probably should, but goddamn, if he is compelled to pick up the boombox.
How big is it, out of curiosity?
It's a boombox. It's pretty sizable. You would have to carry this thing on your shoulder.
You know, I'm imagining like a little animated gif of our characters doing the fucking Lethal Company dance.
Oh yeah, arms wiggling back and forth.
Oh my god.
Oh, good. Okay, well, and that's really all we find down here, huh?
Norman check the room? As Norman?
Oh yeah.
check the room?
For Norman,
Oh, yeah,
I
what-
described the abandoned solitaire game. But I think
Okay, that's
in all
fine.
3 rooms there would be abandoned supplies like backpacks, like full of their own gear, clothes to change in and out of, some hard hats.
Can Phineas look for something specific?
Yeah, sure.
I'm looking specifically for any writing, because a lot of people who travel on ships and stuff like this will keep journals or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Good call.
Okay. Roll investigation again. But yeah, no, investigation again.
Right? Not bad.
16, yeah. Within a room that doesn't smell like dead fish, you like crawl through the space and all the available openings to you, and eventually you find a drawer that is in fact filled with pieces of paper and a little journal that seems to have been belonging to one of the crew members on the boat. Looking through it, you can find kind of like a daily log of what they were kind of doing. Like every few days, there's a new entry of, we did this today, and or just attempts at prose and poetry. It seems that this individual was pretty insightful.
Any be good?
They're mentioning a lot about the cargo itself, actually.
A lot of the prose is about the cargo itself, or
No, not the prose. I thought you meant like the entries specifically.
Yeah.
No, the prose is stuff like writing about like life on the sea and such like that. Stuff that I could not think of in the moment.
No, that's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, requisite sea journal fare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the entries on the cargo itself, it seems that there was both a lot of cargo with stuff like metals, gag items, which is unsurprising considering that this was going to Inkwell. A lot of parts, a lot of bits and bobs. There also is talking about how there is a group of folks on the crew who is tending to the animals that were part of the cargo.
That is interesting. Phineas will call over and make sure to read out loud like all the interesting bits about the cargo specifically.
Interesting. So there was live code aboard as well.
We're probably not just looking for any missing crew members, but any missing animals. Like,
I will say the description of the animals themselves kind of amounts to weird bugs. Weird bugs.
Doesn't say anything about, you know, why they have cargo of weird bugs.
Unfortunately, no.
it could have been a sea circus.
Sea circus.
Quite a distance for the circus to go.
You'd be surprised at how far they travel.
Well, going from theater to here. And what about the final entries? Anything insightful there?
Oh yeah, what's the final entry?
Itchy
Ooh, I have to
tasty.
think.
Sorry to make you improvise.
Yeah, no, I just have to think about like the setting itself and like what would have been written.
Yeah.
The final entry is definitely like a final request. It's a lot different in tone than the rest of these entries have been, which have been more lighthearted and more. Yeah. It's essentially, if you read this, tell my family I love them and I'm sorry. Get out while you still can.
Phineas gets to it with a smile, reads it, and the smile drops.
Well, that's rather ominous, to say the least.
Beckett, he will. He'll look at Phineas and sort of reach for the journal. Do you mind?
No, please go ahead.
He takes it and he looks through for the name of the person keeping the journal.
Oh, hell.
You
Quick, random name generator, save me.
Whatever.
Random name generator, save me.
I'm sorry.
We're 100% gonna follow through on that last request. I hope you know this.
Oh, that is fully what Beckett is doing.
Yeah,
the
Phineas will
follow through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. I've got the name. This was Tash McLaughlin.
All right.
How about Tash McLaughlin?
No.
No.
Is that what I
No.
say?
Illegal.
Illegal.
Now imagining like Phineas pronounces it McLaughlin and Norman's just like, I believe it's McLaughlin is how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Oh. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense, actually.
Well, got a fun follow-up after we get off this thing. And yeah, Beckett will tuck that into his pocket.
Again,
That does not...
you've acquired one journal.
Yay!
That last entry really does not bode well for the rest of the crew now, does it?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they're all
fine.
already between this and how quiet the ship has been since we've arrived, not to mention the state it was in.
I have a question. You said there was seaweed and barnacle and the entire thing. Is the inside where we are wet at all? Like, does it look like it's been stained and or has like water damage?
Not nearly as much as the outside deck was, although the water did kind of seep in onto this lowest level of the quarters. So kind of like the carpeting and the flooring has been very wet and soggy.
Okay, so I can probably safely say that this ship wasn't under the water. It was floating, and I believe because some of the water seeped into the inside. We're not dealing with a now re-arisen ship.
Well, cross that off the list. Now we just
Mhm.
got all the rest to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been any sign, I guess, early, they'll probably need to go further in to know for sure, but thinking back, has there been any sort of visible sign of distress, scratches, weird discolored stains, etc.?
Now that you're like specifically looking for it, especially like looking back into this area on these quarters, you do see that there are a number of concerning stains in places, as well as claw marks that seem to be leading up the stairs and on the walls. In fact, even on some parts of the stairs, there are large dents in the metal of something big and heavy.
Phineas is going to draw a knife and just have it in hand.
Yeah. Hugo's probably drawing a dagger too.
Beckett pulls out a gun.
I don't do some more damage.
Yeah, Beckett is realizing, like, well, actually, I guess we don't know what the class is of our little guy. Just kind of assuming he's something magical based on athleticism.
Well then, it may be wise to go and search the captain's quarters, and then after that, try and get out what we still can, assuming there might be something still on the ship that killed the rest of the crew.
We should probably still figure out what the rest of the cargo was. I know the journal said what it mostly is, but there might be some clues within there.
Perhaps. Either way, let's not linger any longer than we have to.
Right. And Phineas, by the way, is on the lookout for and hey, the trigger warning did say this is gonna get angsty, right? So
Potentially.
He's looking for bodies. He is looking for any individual parts, anything that might look like it was once part of a dwarf, human, elf, whatever real kind of race from theater.
Yeah, Beckett is mostly keeping his ears perked for the sounds of anything beyond, natural creaking and waves moving about.
Sounds of the ship settling around you.
Yeah, stuff outside of that.
Okay. In that case, roll me another perception check, all three of you, as you start ascending further into the quarters.
I want to say that's a nat 20, but that dice is so fucking cocked. I need to redo it.
It's a 14 from
It's
Norman.
a fucking nat 1. My god.
Oh my god, no. Phineas, no.
Oh no.
It's also a 14 from Beckett.
Two
And shake
14s
Norman
and
and
a
Beckett.
1.
14.
We
Phineas is acting like he's looking, but he's too deep focused on the thought of like what happened to this crew.
With two 14s, it's more of the same sort of settling noises, metal creaks, waves crashing distantly. Some of that sensation of being slowly rocked back and forth. The natural one, there's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here. You're totally okay to charge on ahead.
Well, Phineas is in the middle, so.
Well, seems the direction to go is up.
Mm-hmm. Going up the stairs. And who's going first, may I ask? Marching order?
I suppose it should be Beckett.
Phineas has
Oh!
so
Great! Hey, Beckett! Hi,
Hey,
Beckett.
Albie.
I need you to roll me a dex save.
Yay!
Oh boy.
We love traps.
Okay. Well, good news is that dex saves are his best one. Bad news is that he didn't roll super well. That's a 12.
12. Ooh. Okay, hang on. Let me look at this. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. Okay.
Okay, fun. Excited.
Okay.
Loving it.
Okay. I need to grab things. All three of you. You hear a kind of high-pitched chittering sound, and then suddenly something is on Beckett's head.
Ah!
Oh no.
I'm sending an image into the chat so it can be
Yeah, I think
obvious
I know
to
what it
people
might
who know
be.
what it is.
Yeah!
Oh,
It's fucking
Good. Love it. Great.
There's a pecking thing on your head!
There is a whole ass thing on his head. Beckett's gonna try and punch the thing on his head.
Punch the thing on your head!
out of reaction, can fit with Phineas's knife. Can I cast Scream Flame Blade?
Yes!
I was actually about to have Norma do the same.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I knew I should have had Beckett pull out his quarterstaff instead of his goddamn gun.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Definitely don't shoot.
Don't shoot!
If only he had pulled out a long object with which to hit things. Oh
Okay.
man.
I rolled a 24 to hit it.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
nice.
we're
Let me
basically
do
gonna
mine.
go with a loosey-goosey sort of attacking order. First is gonna be the snare flea.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to do some damage on Beckett, unfortunately. Sorry, Uni.
Yeah, that's fair.
We love
That's 8 damage.
Okay. Not, yeah. You know what? He's got more health where that comes from. Cool.
Luckily, a 24 and a 15 will hit for both of y'all.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that 9 won't hit.
It will not, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's just kind of awkwardly bumping his fist against it and unable to, get up enough cool fist momentum to crack that cool bug shell.
It's like the gag of having a fishbowl on your head, only so much worse.
And the D8 for mine is the fire damage from the green flame blade. So
13,
I
okay.
I forgot to grab the dice for Green Flame Blade and for the dagger, so give me a moment.
You're valid. Okay. So 13 damage. Okay. Good news, you do like 7 damage to this thing. Bad news, the other 6 goes to Beckett.
Oh no.
Well, hold on, because we're not over yet. It's 7 total. I rolled a d4 and a d8.
Okay. So 4 goes to the creature and 3 goes to Beckett, which 10 HP is enough to get it to pop off and try to scurry away. So Beckett is no longer being contained.
Awesome. He is already at about half hit points.
Yeah!
No. Oh boy.
Yeah. Beckett is good at hitting stuff. He is not good at taking damage.
Yeah, are any of us good at tanking?
Nope.
Nope.
Alright, cool. It's all fucking squishies, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
It's all squishies.
I made the wise choice to make Constitution Beckett's jump stat. Well, Beckett
Going great,
is
guys.
going to, in fact, try and shoot the goddamn thing before it can skitter away.
Roll to attack.
Okay, cool. That one will probably hit. It's plus 6 equals the 24 hit the goddamn thing.
24 will definitely hit the thing.
Cool.
Damage.
Thing getting filled with many damage. Okay. So that 15 piercing damage.
15. Oh, yeah. Okay. Beckett, in righteous revenge fury, you whip out your gun, aim it at this thing, and you fire. And in an explosion of bug guts, this thing's head explodes.
Cool.
Ugh.
You get 7 temporary hit points.
Yay!
Nice.
Thank goodness.
You need it.
I need it.
Definitely.
Phineas will walk up to Beckett and just say, "You're right."
Been better.
Apologies for that. Norman will say, and he'll use prestidigitation to like stuff out any flames that might still be on Beckett's head.
Yeah.
Phineas will reach into his coat and pull out a potion of healing,
What?
which this now guarantees that this game has to have happened after the other game, obviously. So
Heck yeah.
Phineas is not allowed to use that potion of healing in the other game.
We love timeline shenanigans. We love it here.
Okay. How much can he down that to heal for?
It's 2d4 plus 2 hit points.
Yes. Standard healing potion.
2d4 plus
Which
what?
isn't a lot for other folks, but that's plenty for Beckett, I imagine.
Yeah.
2d4 plus 2.
Okay. Cool. That's 9 hit points. That's very, very good. Thank you.
Nice.
Yippee!
Yeah, he much appreciated. And he's like, look, I'd rather be on fire than have that thing still on my head. So, thank you. No hard feelings.
Well, at the very least, we know what happened to the bugs now.
And we know to keep our eyes on the ceiling as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. One of us should have eyes on the ceiling. The other looks up. Or the other looks forward.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a good plan.
All right.
I will also say, I will command Scrunkly to look up into the ceiling and basically to assist anybody who's looking at the ceiling with their. He's doing
Yeah.
move action.
Yes, good.
Very
Seagull on alert.
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, great. We're off to a great start.
The horrors, the horrors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Well-
we gonna proceed upstairs to where we think the captain's quarters might be.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the best bet?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys have reached now the second floor of about 3 floors. If I can get y'all to roll another perception check for this general area, that would be great.
Persephone.
Persepi time.
Not a bad roll.
Ooh, 22. That was a 19 on the dice.
Whoever's
Nice.
looking up on the ceiling gets the help action, by the way.
Mhm.
I guess since Beckett's still in the lead. So
Mhm.
Oh, that was a nat 20 now. So cool.
Yeah!
Dang. Everybody wave to
okay.
Beckett.
24.
You
Okay.
can see
He is
everything.
vigilant for anything on the ceiling now, I tell ya.
You are looking at that ceiling. There are luckily no more bugs in this area. You can confidently say that 100%. There are no more of those
Mhm.
nasty little crawlers.
Mhm.
But with a 14 and a 22. With a 14, this area is kind of like again, poorly lit by the lighting. So there's not much in the way of relying on sight. Within your close proximity, however, Phineas, you can also see like more of those dents in the floor and on the walls, a few claw marks. For Norman, actually, you listening, using all of your senses, there's another like thick, nauseating smell in this area.
Mhm.
How familiar is Norman with the scent of blood?
I'd say very, very familiar with it.
Yeah. It is the thick, undeniable scent of old blood. Blood that has been kind of left to sit and to seep
Yeah.
into corners.
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
should
ask how
not
fresh
be
it
in.
smelled. Yeah.
It's not
Mhm.
fresh in the slightest.
That stuff gets crusty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll probably
It
report
seems
to the
to
other
be
two.
permeating from one room in particular.
Well, the good news is I may have found some of the crew. The bad news is, well,
You may have found some of the crew.
Phineas. Does anybody want to do the honors, or should I?
if you'd be so kind.
Holding the torch, it's going to open the door.
Mm-hmm. It is not even requiring a perception check. It is a gruesome sight. In this room in particular, there is that dry, crusted blood all over the floor and splattered up against one of the walls. From on the ground, you can see the kind of remains of what was this body. It's been long enough that there is no meat left over. It's just kind of like the bones.
Ugh.
Just like bones and tattered, ruined clothing. The body, or what's left of it itself, it's your investigation, you guys. For more details.
Investigation.
Okay.
8.
30, 20.
That's an 8.
Phineas is actually looking for something specific because he's going to walk up to the body.
Mm-hmm. 8, 18, 20. Okay, with an 8, even if you're used to the smell of blood, maybe the more gruesome bits is a little more scary, especially seeing it so in person like this. So it maybe threw you slightly off your game, Norman. With the 18, what in particular were you looking for, Phineas?
Phineas is looking for anything that identifies this body. Any name tag, any identification, anything like that. As well as once Beckett is done, he's going to grab the skull and ask Beckett if it would be alright to store it in the space.
That's the thing! There is no skull.
Oh!
It's
that's
the
a good
lower
sign.
half. It's the lower half of a body. There's only a
I
pelvis
see.
and femurs and whatever's below that.
Oh, fun. Oh, delightful.
So then he's checking the pocket pants or the trousers.
Yeah. I'd say you find a lighter, a kind of soggy, blood-soaked pack of cigarettes. Well, blood-soaked, it's crusty by now. Those aren't gonna be good for smoking.
Yeah.
Throws the cigarettes. Phineas will keep the lighter. Does it still turn on?
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah, Phineas will definitely keep the lighter. That's useful.
It has the initials RW on it, I'll say, just for fun.
RW. Okay, I'll put that in my inventory.
Okay.
And,
Beckett, with the 20, you are an individual who's used to seeing the bigger picture, especially for investigations such as this. Looking past all the gruesome details, you can see one part of the bit of furniture in this room, which also appears to not be unscathed from whatever happened here. There is a wooden chair that has been reduced to splinters. And in a few of the larger chunks, which upon closer investigation, you can see that there are deep gouges, long and sharp, as if it had been cut into not by a blade, but something more blunt, maybe a tooth, maybe teeth. Teeth, those are teeth marks. And they're big teeth marks, big and sharp.
Yeah. Okay. Now that's interesting. Bugs aren't especially known for having teeth.
Yeah.
To separate my meta-lethal company knowledge brain from character brain. Also, just out of, I thought of it at the time but didn't say it. I'm pretty sure after they read the journal, Beckett left the funky boombox downstairs. No longer in the mood for doing a funky little dance.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was hoping you would keep it in your, because technically audio lore, but we don't know that, so.
Yeah.
I do have a question. Did you leave it on, or did you turn it off?
I want to say that he left it on. Someone loved that song enough to label the song for it to play. So he left it on as like a memory for the people who died brutally here.
Oh boy.
So we could probably faintly hear it echoing up the stairs.
Oh yeah, just the do 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 do.
And if we suddenly hear it stop, that's a problem.
Yeah, that can be a whole thing.
Okay.
All right. So we got bugs, but we also got things with teeth and large mouths.
Something that could take a bite out of somebody and split it in half.
Is there signs of, Beckett, I'll be honest, he's the cool noir detective, but he also works mainly in Toonkind territories. Things don't usually get quite this explicit. But
this is like stepping out of like the silly toon genre and straight into survival horror.
Yeah.
You've walked into Resident Evil.
I would think Beckett would have an easier transition.
Yeah, it's probably an easier transition than a lot of tunes. So pretty obviously, one person died here. but he's going to look for signs of if anyone else was here when things broke bad.
Let me see. Let me look at my notes. It doesn't appear that there were any other individuals in this room in particular.
Uh-huh.
It would probably have to be further investigated within either the upper levels or in other areas of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It got so obliterated, it probably could have been anywhere, but does it look like the chair was in front of anything in particular?
It looks like it was perhaps in front of the desk in the room.
Uh-huh. And is there anything on that desk aside from lots of old blood?
I feel like there would be a few pieces of paper, maybe some, because whoever was here was in the middle of writing something. But that something is covered in old blood.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a little hard to parse.
Yeah. Not the easiest thing to peruse.
And we
through.
attempt to use prestidigitation on it to clean that spot. Because it can clean like an area.
You can try.
Just for fun, roll an Arcana check. Or like a spellcasting
Arcana.
roll, I guess. Or spellcasting is the word I wanted to use.
Spellcasting specifically?
Yeah.
Okay, let me get that modifier then. Not as good as an Arcana. That's a 2 on the die and a 6 total.
Even for magic, bloodstains are so hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
Bloodstains have been.
You gotta get the shout on there ASAP.
Alright. We have Mr. RW here. We should probably move on. What else are we gonna find here?
Right, let's keep moving then.
And again, everyone keeping very, very percepi.
Percepi time! Percepi!
Please.
I imagine, Beckett, you still get the advantage from the help action from Scrungly for observing the ceiling.
Yes.
It is welcome.
That's an 18 from Norman.
It's just a 10 from Phineas.
19 from Beckett.
Yeah.
10 from Phineas, 19 from Beckett, 18 from
Norman.
Norman, thank you. I keep forgetting the name.
Fair enough.
But yes, with the 19, no more bugs. It seems that this one was a lone bug in these chambers, luckily. Thank goodness.
That's what they make you think until they get you again.
There's only ever one on the map, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Keep telling yourself that. Then a second one spawns. But, with the 10, I mean, it's more of the same kind of details you've noticed before. Old blood, thumps, bumps, dents. With the 18, as you're going up into this new area, there appears to be a door kind of leading to more the left-hand side. It's slightly opened ajar, and within that room you can see that this is actually a observation area. And looking in further details with that 18, you are able to tell that this is actually where the steering of the ship occurred.
This is the helm.
Yeah, essentially.
That's where-
Because from what I understand of cargo ships, there's this part which has to be constructed in the top area of this structure because they have big old piles of cargo in front of them usually that blocks the view. So they need to build it up high so that they can tell where they're going.
As we're walking, because I rolled a 10, Phineas is just not looking. He's paying attention, but he's just not looking because he's murmuring to himself, like, really just trying to figure out who ordered this cargo to be transported and why they bring it into Iquil.
Well, it's hard to say how much they knew about these things if they caused as much of a problem.
Maybe they were someone wealthy who just wanted some exotic pets. Armin kind of half-jokingly says.
It's just Phineas has deep in thought. Let's go in.
Yeah.
Into
Check
the
that
steering
door.
place. This room has a lot of technological stuff that seems pretty dang advanced, especially for a continent that's outside of Inkwell. Usually technology this advanced is relatively unheard of unless you go to the Ghibli Empire. But this is something coming out from Theater, which is pretty mostly unheard of from your guys' perspectives. In this room, there's obviously the steering controls and whatnot. There's also another body.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, does this one have a head, or...?
Yeah.
It's the upper half this time.
Oh, so really it's the same body.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the second half of RW.
Yeah.
I see. Well, Phineas, if allowed, Phineas will grab the skull and ask Beckett to possibly store it in hammer space. This is the weirdest thing to ask, but it's just like, we can cast Speak with Dead once we're off the ship, which would give us more information. Phineas doesn't have a
That's
You know
Smart.
what? You know
That's
what,
very
Phineas?
smart.
Make a persuasion roll.
That's it. I know this seems weird, but technically, if we can find somebody who can speak cast with dead, we can figure out more information about the ship. Which is what he says.
Actually,
I
I
will
think-
still roll.
Sure.
I am going to use. Hold on.
I was gonna say, can Norman do a help action? Because he's also actually for this plan.
I will.
Yeah.
I will leave it up to Avi whether you can do that or not.
I'm gonna say it's just gonna be a straight roll for Phineas.
Okay.
Fair
Then
enough.
Yeah.
I will use, if that's all right, my lucky duck pen. Hold on.
Lucky duck pin.
Which just lets me basically gives me advantage on the roll for the day, and that's it.
Oh, that's
Okay.
fun!
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
cool!
Cute.
Through one dice roll before knowing the result. If the score is a success or failure. I rolled a 2. So I'm pretty sure it's a failure. But
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna roll
Yeah.
just in case. It's better. It's persuasion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a 17.
Okay. Yeah. It's a good idea, but you're asking a man to put a skull basically in his pocket. So, you know,
It's the safest
shows
place
some
to store it.
hesitation, but
Yeah.
he will take this man's desecrated corpse.
Thank you, Beckett.
I think Norman will also pipe up. On the subject of that particular spell, well, I haven't quite mastered that technique yet, but perhaps if I can at some point, I might be of some use there. If not, then I suppose we can always find someone once we get off of the ship.
That was the plan, but yes, that'd be perfect, actually.
Yeah, basically Norman will take the skull and he'll kind of like hold it in front of himself and kind of close his eyes, and he seems to be like listening very carefully. And he kind of does this for a few moments, and nothing seems to happen. And he kind of scowls a little and hands it back, and he kind of mutters, "Not there quite yet, it seems."
It's a difficult spell to master. Are you a wizard?
Not exactly, but I am a mage of some kind. Technically speaking, I am able to hear the voices of the dead. I'm just not able to control when I'm able to hear them.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, certainly has its uses in a place like this. Beckett is he's gonna case the joint for any other monstery type clues. Or you know,
Okay.
we know what
Yeah,
killed this guy, but
we're investigating, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Investigating. Give me either
Investigation.
oh, that's the nat 20.
I was gonna say perception or investigation. Each roll will yield.
Well, I'm about to say for both, so
a different.
that's
result.
21 for Norman.
28 for a nat 20 on investigation.
Just
Yo!
17.
If you nat 20 investigation, then I'll have Norman do a perception.
Okay. Beckett, you are honing in. You are honing in all the small details in this room. You can see the evidence of like those heavy dents on the floor that have just kind of been littered everywhere in this area. Some of the dents you notice, however, are kind of different than others. For the dents you've seen in like kind of the lower areas, you've seen mostly ones involving a dent with small gashes on the outside, which would suggest claws of some sort. These ones, however, are very blunt, like something had been punched into it. But they are evenly spread across, like in its own way, weird footsteps.
So something very, very heavy.
Something very heavy or very strong, one of the two. But whatever it is, it's different from the other signs you've seen in the lower floors.
And I mean, I know these are just like, in a different situation, this question would make more sense. These are just dents, but I'm going to ask anyway, because I don't, I'm doing my best here. Is there any way he can guess at how old these are?
I'm gonna say that these ones are actually kind of, you can tell they're kind of relatively new because they don't have water in them. Other ones had kind of like water seeping in them from just like the rainfall and or water occasionally seeping into the floors from
the spray
choppy waves.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fun. On the
Something
bright
passed
side,
by through recently. You don't know how recent though.
Yeah. On the bright side, if something is leaving big ol' dents like this, they'll probably be able to hear it coming.
For sure. Okay, so that is the 28. I'm gonna say for the 17 and the 21. Your guys' focus actually goes outwards from this room. From what you can see from within the observation deck, you actually look outwards onto the ship beyond and the piles of cargo that are open. Well, not open, that are in front of the boat. The fog has eased up some, so luckily you guys are able to make out more shapes than you would have previously. With careful observations looking at the site below you, the both of you kind of realize there's no branding on any of the cargo, which is unusual, because freaking every single company out there would be more than happy to print a big logo on the side of their shipping crates and be like, this product is from us. You should purchase from us more often. There's none of that here. It's just big old crates with unknowns inside them.
Interesting.
When we get back down there, I still want to take a look at the cargo itself, if y'all don't mind. Do I have a crowbar? Don't have a crowbar. Shit.
Do I have a crowbar? Do not.
Pulls the crowbar out of his hammer's face.
Perfect. We should take a look at the cargo and see if it actually matches up with whatever our friend Tash was talking about.
Beckett
What are
is...
y'all's... Here, you go first.
Go ahead.
No, you go first.
Okay, fine. It really is just, he is straining his ears so hard because with the bug crawling along the ceiling, it makes sense that it would be quiet and not have too hard a time dropping people. Everything else they've seen signs of here does not seem like it would be able to move around without them hearing anything.
Mm-hmm. I was about to ask, what are y'all's passive perceptions?
Oh, good.
Oh, goody. 13 for Norman.
14, Beckett.
14. Underneath you, you guys... Wait, I spaced out. I had the numbers in my head and the numbers immediately disappeared as I began explaining.
Okay.
Please say them again.
Okay, 13 for Norman.
14.
Okay. I'm gonna say a 13 and a 14 is good enough to hear this next bit. Straining your ears, listening out, you guys can hear something beneath you. Just thump, 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 thump. It's slowly moving, occasionally pauses before it picks up again.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah. I think if that, honestly, Norman would just want to be like, we need to go now.
What's the matter?
There's a thumping noise
something
below us.
Hearing that, Phineas will instead also take out a small bit of copper wire wrapped around his finger that he reaches from his pocket and point towards each of them. He says, "We should probably start communicating through message. Look at me if you want to talk." We aren't making noises.
Alright.
Beckett he's gonna do deep breath, and I'm just gonna if he can do some goofy tune flavor shit, gonna roll a stealth check.
Stealth check. Stealth check.
Okay. Ready. So. That's a 25. Basically, what Beckett wants to do is do his cool noir, blend into the shadows, and scout ahead of the two squishies. He's squishy too, but he's stealthy at least.
He at least has the advantage of not being seen.
Yeah.
And Can we roll a group stealth check actually, since we're all heading down?
Yeah, sure.
Since we're all,
Alrighty.
yeah, we'd be following Beckett.
Beckett's taking point, but you guys are following behind.
Oh god. Okay, I think I'm gonna use an ability on that. It's not gonna. Because I have an ability that will add a D10 to that, but I'm not sure if it'll. Because even if I got max, it'd only be a 12.
Okay, but that 12 is better than a 2.
Yeah.
Fair
And
enough.
that might be the thing that pushes us
Alright.
over the edge from my 8.
Alright, so I'm gonna add a D10.
Oh,
It's a 4. Oh gosh.
6 and an 8. Beckett, you are so cool. You blend in the shadows. You start going out into the hall. Behind you, you hear the clattering as the both of them trip over a chair, the same chair.
Oh. Beckett is going to freeze and listen to the noises downstairs and see what maybe their reaction is.
Straining your ears, you can still hear like that rhythmic thumping sound. It doesn't seem to be changing in any way.
Okay.
Despite the loud noise, it doesn't have seemed to registered it.
Hey, little fun setting note that maybe should. How big are the ceilings here for each floor?
It's kind of I have to think. It's big enough for like a person to walk through and maybe have a foot above their head.
Okay.
Like an
Right.
average sized person. So it's kind of
Okay.
cramped, but not super especially.
All right. Fair enough. Well, Beckett is he pauses for a good few seconds to see if anything jumps out at his fellow investigators for their incredible stealth. But if nothing does, then he will continue taking point.
Okay. With your 25 in stealth, you start creeping into the hall and then down to where you can kind of hear the sounds. And from your vantage point on the stairs, you can see what is crawling across the floor on the lowermost part of the crew quarters. And I have some art that I'm putting in here that I commissioned from Liz.
Lizard!
Eyes emoji.
No.
Yeah!
Oh, it's just a little guy.
It is spoiled for creepy and also black blank eye. So be warned.
Just
Yeah.
a
Also
little
mouths. Many mouths.
Yeah, many mouths.
Setting amount of
Many-
mouths.
Many gross
little bit.
mouths.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not really sure if some of those mouths are capable of existing, but they do.
They sure do. It is grotesque in a way that is not right. This thing looks like it should have come straight out of the Uncanny Valley, but it's distinctly not Toonish, which somehow makes it all the more upsetting.
How, I guess, long is it? Is it like, because it looks like a fun torso that abruptly ends. Is it like human torso sized, or is it different proportions?
It's different proportions. It seems much a much bigger torso. In realkind standards, I'd say it'd be like the torso of a Goliath kind of size.
Ugh.
But
Is it
it's more
large?
thin and spindly. It's very large. Very large.
Okay. So is it considered a large creature, I'm guessing?
It is considered a large creature, which it's somehow managing to fit in these corridors impressively enough, but not comfortably. It's crawling along with its arms, and like you can see those dents in the floor of it just shoving its arms into the floor and then dragging itself along.
Ugh.
You can also still hear the boombox. And since it doesn't seem to be reacting to the boombox, you can assume that it can't hear.
Yeah, it's got mouths where its ears would be. So
Yeah.
It can sure as hell talk, though.
and sure as hell eat though.
Yeah.
Beckett will emerge from the back up the stairs and emerge from shadow to make eye contact with Phineas so he can, do a message war to the others. Of big spooky. It can't hear, but it's got decently large eyes, and it is cramped, so maybe if we're spotted, we can be fast enough to evade it. But ideally, we won't have. We shouldn't rely on that because a lot of teeth on that bad boy.
Phineas relays this information, word for word.
Alright.
Did it look like it was? Was it just sort of wandering around, or did it seem to be looking for something?
It was just kind of wandering around. It didn't seem to be actively searching for something. It's just kind of existing.
Yeah, vibing.
I will say, Norman will bring up the fact that he does have invisibility, and at the level he's able to cast it, he can do 2 additional targets. So I believe that would get all 3 of us.
Yeah.
That would be useful.
Is it blocking our only way out of here?
There is a way out of here on the lowest floors. There are 2 outdoors that lead into the crew quarters on either side of the ship. But those are your only 2 exits.
So there is like a path we could sneak past it.
Yeah, you would have to essentially wait for a window of opportunity as it patrols one side and then squeeze out the other.
Right. Well, invisibility can last up to an hour, so as long as we can keep concentration on it, you guys want to go with that plan then?
I think I'd be fine with that, yeah.
Yeah, works for me.
All right. Okay.
Luckily,
so Norman
invisibility
will
is something that you don't have to concentrate on, actually. It's only greater invisibility.
No, it is.
That's the spell you need to concentrate.
No, it is concentration spell, it says on here. Yeah.
It is? I thought, never mind then. Whoopsie.
Yep.
The more you know.
Hang on, I can grab the details for that, just for reference.
See, even I make mistakes. Despite the fact that I've been
Fair
DMing
enough.
so many games with invisibility spells. Okay, yeah, okay, understood.
Yeah. Yeah, so Norman will touch both their shoulders, and all 3 of them will turn invisible.
Yeah, I think
He's doing this
Beckett
at 4th
will
level.
encourage them to hold on to one another's cool trench coats so that they don't lose track of each other while invisible.
Yeah.
Trenchcoat gang, trenchcoat gang. Daisy chain, trenchcoat gang.
A trenchcoat conga line.
Phineas will despawn Scrunkly for this.
Scrunkly has been
Scrunkle
despawned,
face.
winks out of existence.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Alright. Well, I can invisibly creep down and wait for the moment to slip past.
Alright,
Roll
I want
stealth.
y'all to roll me stealth at advantage, everybody.
Alrighty.
Yoink.
Thank
Ooh,
God.
nice.
19. That's a good one. Oh!
They're both 8s, man.
Oh my god.
Well, we have to do a group check, right?
Multiple times where you've rolled like with advantage and gotten the same on both.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, so hopefully that'll even out.
Yeah.
I'd say as a group stealth check, this succeeds. So y'all are good.
Okay. Yay.
Very carefully, the 3 of you are quietly creeping down the stairs, and you get to kind of the lowest floor where you see this nasty thing. This nasty, horrible, twisted thing. Which looks straight out of a horror game, pun intended. It's kind of, you watch it carefully as it crawls back and forth in this lowest area, occasionally like peering into one of the rooms with opened doors that you guys opened. For a scary moment, Norman, you kind of step onto one of the steps leading down and kind of slip on a slippery surface as water that had been coalescing there. And you can see this creature, while it doesn't react to the sound, it feels the vibrations distantly and turns around and like quietly observes stock still before it seems to lose attention and continue on its way. Kind of goes into the room where the nasty fish stank from earlier was.
I think Norman's heart is in his throat for a moment when it looks at him.
Uh-huh. It ain't great.
Oh, fun and cool.
Yeah.
Surely once we get outside, everything will be a-okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we need to roll anything to make it outside, or do we get outside, or?
I'm gonna say... I'm just gonna keep with the stealth checks that you guys have, your group stealth check, and say that you are able to squeeze out to the outside of the boat while this large creature is distracted eating the abandoned lunch. Yum, yum, yum. Old fish.
Once we're outside, Phineas will ask again for the crowbar and be like, hold on to me, I really do want to see what's inside of these crates.
Right. He will awkwardly kind of hold it out, because again, they're still invisible. He's not exactly sure where Phineas is, but he doesn't want to beat him upside the head.
Yeah.
There's a couple of seconds of like, okay, I'm bringing my hand down, and it's just like, is it here? Is this it? Am I? Nope. This is.
No, it's on your left.
This is your shoulder.
Your other left.
This is your shoulder.
Follow down the arm. Follow down the arm, and you'll get there.
Right. Yes, and then follow.
You guys are so lucky that the only monster right now is death.
Yeah.
We have to do the bit. It's funny as hell. We live by the bit, die by the bit. Now,
This is Toonkind, baby.
Yeah. Do we have to roll for anything to open the thing?
Give me a strength check, buddy.
I was gonna say before we open the crates, can we do like a perception to like listen to see if like there's anything moving inside of them just to be safe?
Sure, smart.
All right. Okay, so would that be perception?
That would
Listening
be
perception?
Perception.
Okay.
Listening.
16.
Yeah. The current crate that Phineas is trying to pry open, I'm gonna say it's a wooded one that has definitely seen the adverse effects of leaving wood out in water for a long, long time. It's warped in places. It's covered in growths. It's not great.
Ugh.
Well, 16 is
listening-
very good for Phineas.
That is really good for Phineas. Heck yeah. Way to go, wizard boy.
This is the strength check. You rolled a 17
Listening and
minus 1.
listening.
Beckett
Listening-
got an 8, so just assume he is like his attention is backwards to see if the thing has followed after them.
It doesn't appear to have, luckily, Beckett.
Yeah.
With the 16, listening in on the crate, you don't hear anything moving from the inside, which is good. No creatures. And then with the 16 to pry open the crate, Phineas, you get some good leverage, and with a sharp movement, you are able to pry off the lid of this crate and lift it open. And you can see inside is... It's a lot of junk. It's like... Here, I have a list, hang on.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's...
How many jars of pickles in there?
Well... It's a lot of scrap metal. A lot of metal sheets with holes in them. There is these huge, oversized bolts, which look like it's meant for more industrial machinery. There is an engine in there to some sort of machine. You aren't sure what. It's a lot of metal bits and bobs, all kind of randomly piled into this thing.
We have to find the gold bar. I want the money. No. Huh. This is just trash.
I'm sure some enterprising toon could make a good gag out of these, but not the primo material for sure.
Theoretically, it could be valuable if one were to melt it down into, well, it is scrap metal.
I mean, yeah, but you could do that. Why would you be transporting that to Einquell to melt it down? You could just do that in the country itself and then transport it. Be easier to package and easier to transport. And
That is
easier
true.
to sell,
It's
for
odd-
that matter.
Indeed, it's odd that they would transport it in this form.
He's not going to leave the group, but just looking around, does he see any of the cargo that looks like it could have held the bugs that were described in the journal?
Give me an investigation check.
That's a bad roll. That roll didn't.
Oh no.
The roll is not helpful. That's a 10.
10. Straight middle of the lane. Unfortunately, no. Looking through all these crates and such, it doesn't seem like there's anything that would be fit for creatures.
Yeah,
Not from your point of view.
It doesn't seem like anything here is built for live cargo, and yet.
Well, there are lower
And
decks.
yet-
This is a pretty big ship, so... And plus, it'd make more sense to put the live cargo below deck.
Sure,
It also
it
makes more
does.
sense to put in the more valuable items below decks. Putting on there.
Still, just nothing up here matches with what we heard about this ship so far.
Downstairs?
Oh,
I'm quite sure we want to delve any further into here. I mean, it seems pretty obvious what happened.
If there's any survivors at all, it's kind of our duty to make sure that they get out here alive.
that's the case.
Well, if you insist, I suppose there might be a slim chance that someone might be alive.
The amount
A
of jars
dog.
of pickles. You definitely survive a couple of days.
Well, it's not the wise thing to do, but I think we're well past that point.
Nobody ever said I was very wise, just intelligent.
It ain't the wise thing to do, but it sure is the right thing to do.
Are there jars of pickles here, by the way? I just made that as a joke, but
Not in this crate.
not in this crate, but another crate.
Opening another crate, however, reveals pickles, a stop sign, a hair dryer.
I just want to say, Phineas does grab a jar.
Air horn.
No air horn, unfortunately.
Oh.
Phineas does want to grab a jar of pickles that has, because those are pickled. Those are still good.
Heck yeah.
Well, the stop sign seems slightly more in line with what would be considered a gag, I suppose.
You can make a gag out of these pickles, that's for sure.
I don't know. I feel like there's something missing.
No, you're definitely right. Phineas does pop open a jar of pickles and takes a bite out of one. Not
Oh.
teasing him. Bit spicy. Might be pepper flakes in there.
I'm surprised he was
I
able
feel
to
like
get the
you
lid
should have to
open.
make a constitution roll on that.
It's pickles! It's pickles!
I have opened sealed jars of pickles that have had shit growing in them. I'm just saying.
Well, they're not pickled correctly.
That is true.
I'm gonna say these ones are fine because I don't want to have to deal with being poisoned. These pickles are fine. I don't want to have to deal with you being poisoned by your own
Okay,
gags.
fine. Fair.
Poisoned by the bit. Hey, we live by the bit, die by the bit.
Die by the bit.
Die by the bite.
Yeah.
Alright, well, if we're done sampling pickles, then we should get going if we're deciding to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We begin the train again.
The train.
Mhm.
So you are heading into the lower decks, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All invisible
Okay.
and keeping close.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, it's easy enough to find in this part of the ship. There is a big stairwell that kind of leads into the deeper depths of this vessel.
Uh-huh.
If I can get y'all to make new perception checks.
New
For me.
Persepi.
New perception.
Nice.
Ooh, 17.
You still have advantage, by the way, for Persephone, because I'm still giving you the help action whenever possible.
Well. Yeah, the first one was.
And we're still invisible, by the way, because that lasts an hour
Oh.
or until Norman decides to drop the concentration.
17,
I don't think
19,
you are
23.
giving advantage anymore because you said you put Scrungly away.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you said you dispelled
I
him, yeah.
did say that. Okay, no, you're so fucking right. I'm so sorry.
Scrungly has been
Yes.
banished.
I would return Scrunkly, but he's not invisible, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, plus I
And you
think if
lose
you
that
resummon him,
advantage.
that counts as casting a spell, and I think that would dispel the invisibility.
I don't
Mhm.
think re-summoning him technically counts as casting a spell, because this is just something you can do,
Mhm.
like as a bonus action. It's
Mhm.
not like a.
Yeah, he can resummon and unsummon Scrungly at will, because that's the benefit
Right,
with
yeah.
familiars. Unless the familiar dies, and then they would have to be resummoned in that instance. But other than that, they're yeah. I'm gonna say
You know what
you
I
don't
will-
have the advantage for this bit.
That's fine. I will say that Scrunkly does get resummoned and gets left on top deck, so he's just going to be up there. He can
Mhm.
warn me if
Yeah.
anything happens, or if he just dies, that'll tell me that something happened.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. Everything on deck has been a-okay.
Everything has been a-okay.
Mhm.
100%. Alright. So a 17, a 19, and a 23. Heck yeah, good rolls, you guys. Going down the stairs and into this next part of the ship. In this lower part of the vessel, the Iron Phantom, it kind of opens up into a central room with which there are a few doors on the right-hand side, directly in front of you, and looking behind you, there is a door leading somewhere to the left. This central area, while appearing to be a hub of some sorts to different rooms, leads to doors that are labeled various things. One is storage room A, another is storage room B. Another room is labeled restrooms, because you need that for a real kind boat.
Sure.
And another one still is labeled like kitchen and mess hall.
And just, because at this point we very much understand the vibe. First things first, are there any fun, weird stains leading anywhere?
There's a lot of blood.
Mm-hmm. Just all
It's a
directions.
lot of everywhere. Uh-huh.
All right. Good
Something
time.
bad happened on this boat.
All right. Well, that means we do not get to narrow down which direction we want to go.
Mm-hmm.
You lead, Beckett.
Well, cross mess hall up list. It sounds like at least small enough to take a look around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, which area were you looking at first? Mess hall, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Going into the mess hall. Gonna get y'all to make a new set of stealth rolls for while you're observing down here.
All right.
And
we
we
still have
because
advantage.
we're still invisible.
Visibility.
It's still advantage, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
11.
All right.
Y'all
Come
better
on,
do
buddy.
good.
Ooh,
Oh, 12. It's better than his last couple stealth rolls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Come on, Beckett. Come on, Beckett.
I've done-
Come on, Beckett.
I've done worse, but I have done better as well.
Mm-hmm.
A bit more middling.
12, 17.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So an 11, 12, and a 17. Okay. Those aren't great, but they're also pretty good in Beckett's case. It's a good thing Beckett's leading the charge. Beckett, opening the door into the mess hall, you can kind of see, again, this new area. Perception checks, please. So that I can know what general information to inform you of.
Perception check.
19. That's pretty good for
Never
Phineas.
lucky. Yes, it is, because I'm literally just rolling the dice and telling you the number. There's no additions.
A 19, a 21, and what did Norman roll?
He got 12.
For perception?
Wait, is it still the stealth? Oh shoot, sorry.
No.
Oh no,
perception.
we're making a new perception roll for the mess.
19.
Okay.
There
Y'all just get high rolls and okay.
you go.
Easter famine.
We see all.
Mhm. In this area of the ship, in the mess hall in particular, you guys do see again the evidence of dents and claw marks and blood. But the bodies in here actually are covered by what looks to be a tarp, a white cloth.
Hmm.
Huh.
Mhm.
That's interesting. Indicates that I I guess whatever happened probably happened in this area first.
Mm-hmm. Or at least around in this area. But looking besides the obvious, you guys also note that despite this being like a mess hall and a kitchen, there doesn't really seem to be a lot of food. Looking in deeper and like observing the nooks and crannies, going to the kitchen itself and like observing and looking and parsing through everything. There's no storage for food like you would expect, like canned food stuffs or containers full of supplies for the crew. They seem to have up and vanished and or been devoured by whatever's creeping around. You're not sure.
Yeah, my guess would be on the latter.
Yeah, the latter.
Yeah.
Jade?
Jade?
Jade, are you dead?
Jade!
Uh-oh.
I think Jade might be dead.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Jade!
Ripperoonie.
I can't believe this.
Hello?
Jade's dead.
Hello.
There you are.
You're no
Hello.
longer
There you are,
dead.
Jade.
Yay!
Hey.
I knocked out my Wi-Fi by accident.
Oh no.
I was saying, are they tightly? Are the people on the tarps? Are they tightly wrapped, or are they just like cloth thrown over them, or thrown over them?
I'd say tightly wrapped. Like, not in the sense of like, you know, a bunker spider, but but in the sense of like someone took care into like making sure these were covered up.
I don't.
It looks like they were like laid here instead of this is just where they fell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. If somebody did this, I must mean that it wasn't like not everybody died at once. Some of them must have survived for at least a little bit before and took care of some of the bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
well, I guess Beckett will just to be sure, he will peek under one of the wrappings just to see, like, obviously these bodies are old, but it is nothing's been chewing on them, right?
Nothing's been chewing on them recently, but
Recently.
peeking under it,
That's it.
you can see that there's a very big open wound on that torso.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing. If whatever came through here ate up all the rations, but left all these bodies untouched,
Mm-hmm.
The body upstairs, allows
untouched post whatever happened to them at the start.
The body
Mhm.
upstairs wasn't eaten either, as far as I'm aware. It wasn't like a skeleton. It was just like it was this body
Yeah.
split in twain, right?
Because we found the top
Yeah.
half further ahead.
So whatever took them didn't eat them. He just killed them, which doesn't bode well.
Not great.
Mm-mm.
That implies some intelligence, at the very least. It's not doing it out of hunger. It's doing it for the sake of it.
Out of curiosity, do these bodies have any ID badges on them? Because Norman's thought is like, you know, maybe bring some proof that like they found the bodies at least.
Mm-hmm. Me randomly, frantically going back to the character generator.
You don't have to. You don't have to come up with it. You can just say they have an ID tag.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's easiest for you.
One is named Amy Lloyd. I'm gonna copy and paste that into the chat so that we have it for reference later. And then Come on, give me a good name. Oh, that's a good name. Floyd Wang.
Lloyd Wang and Amy Lloyd. And we also have RW.
And there was Mr.
Our
McLaughlin
good
earlier.
friend Cat.
Yeah. Hopefully, whenever we find the captain's quarters, wherever they are, there might be a ship's log of all the people that were in the ship.
Likely so. Ugh. And just for the sake of knowing a little more about what they're up against. Well, that's a fun roll. It's a great roll. I love that roll.
No, I just explicitly wrote, "Don't mind this roll," and you're minding it.
Oh no, I'm sorry, but I do in fact have to mind that roll.
You gotta mind it at least a little bit, Abby.
Okay, so
we know of a minimum of 2 kinds of monsters so far. We know Buggy and we know Torso-y.
Torso Man.
Torso Man, Torso Boy,
Torso Boy.
Torso Boy,
And we know a mysterious third one that has clawed feet, because I'm pretty sure Torso Boy didn't have that.
You know, Torso Boy just has nubbins.
Yup.
Big, strong nubbins.
Yeah, ones that maybe punch into the ground.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So Beckett is trying to keep a running log for the signs of if there's anything else outside of what they've seen so far.
Well, in 11 stealth, I don't think beats Beckett's or Norman's passive perceptions.
Yay!
God. E.
Okay. You guys are still invisible, so you've got that going for you. You guys hear something behind you, kind of off to the side of the main room. It sounds very quiet, like footsteps.
Okay.
Norman turns around to look.
Once you're properly looking, it's kind of obvious when you're actually looking for it, because this individual is wearing a bright orange suit. And I have another art to share.
Oh boy.
Oh. Hope they're also not wearing a mask.
Oh, it's a person.
Person.
It's a fucking person. You can see a real kind with very, very messy hair, kind of hastily pulled up into a ponytail, kind of like 2 scars running along one side of their face. They are armed with a metal pipe which has a rope tied to its bottom half, and they are nervously looking around. They're also wearing a backpack, which seems to be full of stuff, though you're not sure what.
Pickles.
Yeah. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Because, she hasn't seen us yet. I'm trying to think of, how to do this without, startling her too badly.
I mean... What's more scary? People appearing from invisibility out of nowhere, or suddenly getting a message in your brain of, "Hey, sup?"
That might not be a bad idea. The message one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, girl. Hey.
There is the. Have you told the other 2 about it yet?
Yeah. Well, I think 2 of us are
2
passive.
of us noticed. I think Phineas is the only one who didn't.
Okay, cool. Phineas just hasn't noticed. The one who can cast message.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think
Beckett will hopefully elbow in the direction he's pretty sure Phineas is.
Son of a bitch! What is it?
The woman from behind you, at the sound of the voice, like jumps and like points the metal pipe towards Phineas's direction.
Oh shit! That's what that is.
Hello.
Norman face palms.
Hi.
I think at this point, Norman's just gonna drop his invisibility and be like, "It's okay. We're not gonna hurt you. We're here looking for survivors."
What? Like this woman is like kind of like staring at you, flabbergasted, still pointing their makeshift weapon at the three of you, who has dropped invisibility.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Phineas. This is Beckett, and this is Norman. We were hired to investigate this ship that disappeared off of the coast of Einquell and seek any survivors, and just happened to reappear recently. Are you alright? Do you need some help? I feel like that's an obvious question. You're obviously not alright, and you obviously need some help.
Are you real? Are you real?
Well, they're real. I'm Toon. It's
What's it?
Apologies for starting early, you miss.
What's
Norman
a
will say.
What's it? Like, this real kind is just staring at Beckett now, like, now that the obvious of you are very different has been pointed out. She's just kind of, like, blatantly staring.
Right. Probably from people from outside of Einquell, probably, again, I always seem to forget this, another race of living beings.
Okay.
and I don't, mean to push, but your name is
Tamora. I'm Tamora.
Tamora.
Oh, pleasure
Gonna
to make your
type
acquaintance,
that
miss.
In chat for y'all.
And my apologies for startling you. I was using that particular spell to keep us hidden from the more dangerous beasts that were roaming the boat.
No, I don't blame you. And she like kind of like makes a quiet down gesture and kind of glances around. First behind her, then up at the ceiling, then all around.
yeah.
Okay. First question.
What,
Do you have a way out of here?
We do.
Oh, thank the hell.
We have a boat that's parked next to this one that we can escape to.
Thank the helm. And like she is like kind of like rubbing at her face.
Now we have a question. Are there any other survivors?
If there are, I haven't seen them. I might be the last one standing, as it were.
We checked the top half, where the cruise quarters and the helm was.
Which one did you see? Which creature?
Large one, large torso, multiple mouths on its head, and a large bug that dropped down.
Those are nasty. They're all over the ship. No, there's more than one.
Oh, good.
Those little buggers are all over the ship. Keep your eyes on the ceiling. Don't take your eyes off the ceiling.
Duly noted.
At night, there's a big one that comes creeping around. But we should be okay for now.
All the more reason to get off this boat as quickly as possible, then.
Yeah, like, as you're saying that, she's, like, inching her way towards the stairs that lead up to the top half of the ship. It's like, y'all got a way out. She's not gonna wait here any longer. She needs to.
Yeah. Honestly,
Oh.
Norman's
Yeah.
with her. They found the survivor. Sounds like there aren't any others. He doesn't see any more reason to stick around here.
Do you need any medical assistance, by the way? Any food, anything like that? I don't know how you've been surviving on the ship.
Well, when you're the only person who needs to eat, the mess hall has plenty.
That's fair.
But I'm so tired of pickles.
Yeah, yeah, that would probably get old.
How
Indeed.
long have you been in here?
A few months, give or take, ever since the ship went topsy-turvy.
How long has this ship been missing?
A few months.
2 months, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So it does.
Just making sure the
slide.
timeline matches up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Beckett is less asking questions and more, again, taking point to make sure no fun things are waiting for them en route back to the deck.
Roll me a perception check, Beckett.
Persepi.
While Beckett is doing that, can I tell Norman I'm gonna go see through Scrunkly and see if there's anything on top of the ship. So mind if I just grab shoulder so I can follow you?
Go ahead. He'll
22.
offer his hand to hold on to you.
22.
And I
Beckett,
also-
where Tamora came from? Hang on. Roll
go
what?
ahead. It's I was going into Scrunkly vision so I could see if there's anything on top of the ship.
Mm-hmm. Let's do Beckett's roll first, and then we can do Scrunkly vision real quick.
Take your time.
Beckett, with your 22, there's kind of a hallway that Tamora came from, like kind of creeping. Kind of stealthily, not as stealthily as you are. Way further down the hall, despite the darkness, you briefly see a pair of white glowing eyes stark against the
Ooh.
darkness.
Oh, I
You
hate
kind-
that.
Catch sight of it the same moment it catches sight of you, and it immediately backs off.
You're sure you're the only living person? I think I might have seen something down the hall.
Fuck. Get out of here, run. And Tamora is like frantically looking behind her, and she starts bolting for the stairs.
You know what? He trusts her take on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Norman's gonna run after them, dragging Phineas behind him.
Lord Almighty, Phineas gets dragged while he's in Scrunkly vision.
Scrunkly vision? Again, the fog has actually been clearing up a lot more now, which is pretty good for Scrunkly, all things considered. Doing a flyby, they can see that the main area of the ship on the top side, exposed to the air, is, I'd say it's about a little past noon at this point. But there doesn't seem to be anything of note to Scrunkly. More of the same.
Goodness gracious. Little warning before we start running next time. There's nothing on top of the ship. We should be fine.
Apologies, but there's really not much time. We need to go.
Not it. And let go of hands, start running.
Phew.
So, where are y'all headed?
Well,
Back onto the deck, right?
we did leave a rope with a grappling hook.
Okay.
And that's
I
what
say
Scrunkly
for,
is.
like, shimmying down for, like, looking where shimmying down would probably take an acrobatics as opposed to an athletics. Because you're not, like,
Yeah, like-
climbing up, you are just shimmying down.
Yeah.
If at all possible, I'm going to send a message to the captain and say, tie the rope so that it's taut to the other side of the ship. Or at
Okay.
least make sure it's to pull back on the boat without breaking the rope.
You
Just a warning,
send,
we're returning.
you send the message. There is nothing in response.
Oh dear.
Hold on. Phineas is going back into Scrunkly mode and is going to fly over to the ship.
Mm-hmm. Where the ship was supposed to be, it's not there.
Oof.
Gang, we have an issue.
Oh, don't tell me something happened to the ship.
Our ride's gone.
What do you mean?
Great.
Yeah, something happened
What
to
do
the ship.
you mean ride's gone?
I'm pulling the rope back up. Like, I'm coming back from Scrunkly Vision, and I'm pulling the rope back up, and I'm seeing if it's broken off, or if it's been cut, or is anything like that.
It's been cut.
Oh shit.
As in, like, somebody did this on purpose.
Yeah.
We just got betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all just got abandoned on the big scary boat.
Rude.
Yep.
I mean, hey, the bear was getting paid to go look and find the ship either way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unkind. How
I'm going to kill
long
that bear.
long has it been since we got on the boat?
I'd say a couple hours of just investigating and looking through all the nooks and crannies and such.
Well, well.
Hi,
Beckett
welcome to
has
the
ways
twist of the
to
game.
track down the bear, but it
Yep.
doesn't help if we don't have a way to reach him.
Uh-huh.
We don't. Okay.
Oh, well.
Okay, it's a dumbass.
Beckett makes a loud sproying sound effect as he curses.
Yeah.
Phineas actually curses.
Tamora just goes like, how the hell did you do that with your mouth?
Ill intent. Oh. Well then.
So we
How
have
about
no
a
way
bright
off.
side? We do
There aren't
know
any
where
sort
the
of
steering
lifeboats.
is.
And Tamora actually kind of grimaces at that.
Think that is a no then?
The steering of the ship is damaged.
Of course
If
it
we
is.
can't- It's damaged in a point where it can only go in circles. I've been waiting for this damn thing to run out of fuel, but it keeps going.
Then is there a way we can check the fuel?
I
Why are you waiting for it to run out of fuel?
don't know. Just counting the days off because there's no lifeboats on this pecking thing. They all got taken.
Okay. Fuck.
I got
Did
left
they-
behind.
They got
Lost.
taken. I don't know if we heard about any escapees making it to shore.
Hmm.
That doesn't bode well.
One idea could be to possibly send up a signal flare, but that's assuming anyone would be able to see it. Not to mention, if we did, that might alert whatever creatures are roaming the ship to come after us. We'd have to survive until help came.
there any message sending spells on the ship? Any way to communicate with land?
I've got one way, but it's well, like Norman said, we'd have to survive long enough for a rescue to come. Yeah.
I'm lucky enough. I have a way to keep us safe for hours on end. As long as I don't misuse my spell slots, I think I should be fine.
All right. Well, Beckett, he pulls out from his hammer space his span reed.
Oh.
Which hey, fancy quill that will give the person holding the matching one the same message you write. So he will pull out a notebook of his and write a message to his partner, giving a brief rundown of things are very bad and their location and the situation and etc. But his partner is, is back home, so the most they could do is hope the message gets out and then wait for it to reach people who could actually get here and then get rescued. So
yeah, and on that part, it took a few days for you guys to even get here, and even then, the ship is moved in that time. It might take a few days longer for them to find you.
Yeah. So,
Mora.
Not hopeless, but not great.
Not hopeless, but not great.
Mora, you've been surviving on the ship for the longest. You know it in and out, I'm guessing.
For the most part, there are some parts of the ship that I'm not privy to explore on my own.
So, you must have been working on some way to get out of here.
Attempting to. I was trying to scrounge for parts to make a raft of some sort. But it's very difficult with the eyeless dog on deck.
Eyeless dog, huh?
It's on the other side of the ship, and she points towards the far distant side of the ship that you guys haven't been to, like the front end. It hangs out in one of the cargo boxes that it busted open. It is relatively inactive during the day, but at night it comes out and it sniffs around.
Is smell the only way that he can see us? He said it was eyeless.
I don't know about smell, but it can hear very, very well.
Okay. How many different kinds of creatures are on this ship?
A lot. There might even be some that I don't even know about.
Why were they taking
Do you have any?
Well, we weren't going to Einquell to take it there. We were going to pick up a shipment from Einquell and take it elsewhere. There's an oil rig at the center of the Uncanny Triangle.
We read that there was some bug cargo. Like, were all of these things part of the shipment, or did some of them board from outside?
A lot of the insects were part of the original shipment. There was a group of the crew who were interested in studying these things that we acquired from other continents. But needless to say, they got out. That thing you saw behind me. That thing is... I'm not sure what it's called, but it's very malevolent, in the very least. It's been very eager to let things out when we're not paying attention. At least that's my theory on it.
But it doesn't
Whatever
do.
that thing was, it was not part of the cargo. That's for sure.
It doesn't do damage on its own, though.
Oh no, it can. It can. And Tomorrow kind of like looks off to the side and kind of gets like very quiet as she gets into like a 1,000-yard stare.
All right. Well, flips to a new page of his journal and different non-span pen. Starts just noting down the list of all the nasties he's seen so far. So we've got bugs, we've got thing with many mouths, we've got eyeless dogs, we've got fun, daring creature.
You've been staying in the mess hall for right now?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Have you been staying in the mess hall for the time being?
Tomorrow kind of snaps out of her stare and kind of looks at you and nods. Yeah. Well, sort of. There's a storage room that is a little bit better reinforced. I've been moving supplies from the mess hall into there and getting what sleep I can during the nights.
Got it. Well, now that we're here, we'll take watches. Make sure to wake anybody up on the way there. But we should be safe. I have a tiny hut.
A what now?
Lehman's tiny hut. It's a third level spell.
Oh, magic stuff. Okay.
Yes. It should keep us safe.
The arcane variety, yeah?
Yes.
Thank goodness.
It should keep us safe while we're asleep, as long as we're within the circle.
Tomorrow nods.
Phineas is trying to figure out. He knows about plot devices, and he's thought about trying to pull one out, but he's definitely thinking it's not gonna work right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll try. Can I try?
Yeah, sure, try.
He doesn't have a hammer space, but he'll reach into his pocket and think about it and try to put out a plot device.
Has he had a plot device in the past, or is this like his first attempt?
This is his first attempt because he didn't think he need one.
You don't pull out a plot device, but now you have a walkie-talkie.
What is what?
Congratulations, you get plot device beta.
Plot device B. What is this thing?
Well,
Tomorrow kind of reaches over. Tomorrow reaches to her hip and pulls out her own walkie-talkie.
I don't.
Ending stone.
I don't have a hammer space.
What are you talking about?
Congratulations.
There's a really bewildered look on Phineas's face.
By the way, anyone else who attempts to pull out a plot device in this game, you also get a walkie-talkie.
Hey, there are worse things that we could be finding. So.
Sure. He'll clip it onto his belt.
Well, we have no way of knowing how long it'll take anyone to get here. But maybe with a few more plans, a few more hands, this raft idea is a little more plausible.
At the very least, with more numbers, perhaps we may stand some fighting chance if something comes after us. It's not a guarantee, but better than one lone person with a metal pipe. No offense.
None taken. I've got a few tricks of my own sleeves, but it does very little good when those things are as violent as they are. Speaking of, are you injured in any way? Any of you? And like she kind of like looks over the three of you.
Beckett.
Looks
at Beckett.
Yeah. You got a little bit suffocated for a bit there, but I've had worse.
Here. And Tamara kind of reaches one hand through like the neck of her hazmat suit, holds onto something unseen, and reaches a hand out and rests it against Beckett's shoulder and casts Cure Wounds at first level.
Huh.
Wow. Oh, nice.
Yay!
Congratulations, you found your healing.
We found the healer!
Thank heck.
You have found your healer.
Yay.
I saw how squishy you all were, and I went, good golly, y'all need this.
Thank you, kind and benevolent DM. How much?
Yeah, that's 7 points
okay,
of healing.
7.
Do you have any idea if any of these creatures are from the prime material plane or outside of it?
What?
I'll take that as no.
I don't do that kind of magic, buddy.
That's all right. Maybe there's some information on the ship that can tell us more about the creatures on here.
There has to be
Actually,
something
they're-
that made this ship get their attention.
There was a lab of sorts that they were using to research the insects. Maybe they have notes there, more detailed than what I could provide.
That
Gotta
would
leave
be
it, honey.
perfect.
Worth a shot.
Okay, we'll have to prepare though, because it's unfortunately where that thing is. The one with the eyes.
Well,
We're gonna. Before we hit it, let me know before we hit it.
Alright.
on the bright side, you're, well, you've got people who can split its attentions now.
That is not as reassuring as you think it is, but thank you for the effort.
Darling, there is very little silver lining here to work with. I'm doing what I can.
That's fair.
I guess we're walking and talking.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah. Okay, I
I'm-
think for the time being, Tamara's basically going to take you guys in the kind of like the middle section of the ship where y'all were before, where she's has her reinforced room, TM. She does point out to you because it's a little ways down that hall she came from to the right. There is a storage room which has a decent amount of barricades in front of it. She also points out a tripwire trap for you guys, which is attached to an air horn.
We found the air horn, guys.
We found it.
Basically, her early warning system if something is approaching her room and she needs to wake up.
It worked.
I got it.
Now all we need to find is the chattering teeth and the little fishy toy.
And the toy robot. And the gold bar.
Good luck finding the gold bar, man.
In order.
Or the cash register.
It really is a
Ka-ching.
shame that they didn't get enough credits for the teleporter.
Damn.
We've been going about 3 hours. Can we take a break?
I was
Yeah.
thinking we were gonna wrap up here, actually.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking of it too.
Yeah. I figured, like, you guys realizing, hey, your ride's gone would be a good leave-off point for the next part.
The fact that it got cut off, I'm so fucking pissed. Abby, I'm killing that bear.
Yeah. Norman's definitely gonna do that too if he ever finds his bear again.
Oh,
Stinky.
we're going to find that bear
Stinky,
again.
naughty bear.
We have a detective who can
We
pinpoint
rescind
us
our
in the
desire for hugs.
direction. He used that. He used our desire for hugs against us.
Ugh.
Listen, I heard you guys saying, I want to give this guy a hug, and I was like, oh, you aren't going to want to hug him in 3 hours from now.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, but
Yeah.
yay!
Yay!
What sort of wacky company are we involved in?
Who knows?
I don't know. It might be, I think, dangerous company. We might find
Possibly a
ourselves
deadly
within
company,
danger.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some very deadly
Bit of-
company, yeah.
Yeah.
Unhealthy
Deadly
company.
establishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
Well-
some oof, ouch, hurty company.
I do truly hope that we will be great assets to Tamora.
Yeah!
I'm so glad I have Lehman's tiny hut. I'm so
Yeah,
no
sorry.
kidding.
I'm so sorry if this breaks your game again, Abby.
No, it's good. No, it's good. I was hoping for it. Because
Okay,
welcome!
thank God.
Your game is not an investigation, it's a survival horror, and you need to make the most of all your resources.
Thank
Good.
God.
Great. Yeah, with Lehman's tiny hut. Oh boy, having a place to safely sleep. Big good.
Mhm.
Big good.
Definitely.
Mora's about to get an 8-hour sleep that she hasn't had in ages.
Yeah.
But yes, I
Oh,
hope y'all enjoyed
yay.
playing, and I hope everyone in the audience had a wonderful time listening. Y'all have been lovely players, and y'all have been delightful audience members.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Abby. You have been a wonderful
Thank
DM.
you.
I am glad.
And it was fun to
with that,
play with
we're
you
gonna
guys.
Wrap things up. Yay! Now
We're
let's
gonna
say
do
goodbye
it.
for the
We're gonna
recording.
survive.
Bye bye.
We're gonna
Bye.
survive. Bye.